Hey everybody, it's Josh. Hope you're all doing well today. Wanted to talk about a little comment that I got and a guy who just lost his dog. He's had for 12 years. And it really kind of hits home to me because both my dogs, they just turned 11. Both of them have horrible arthritis and all kinds of joint issues, and there's been 2 separate days when I've seen each of them and I literally thought they were dying. I wasn't panicked about it or anything, but I thought this is probably the end for them. And they went to sleep. The next day they were fine. So this goes to tell you, you can't always trust what you feel. Those feelings never tell you the real story. It's just what our minds tell us. Kind of like suffering. We don't have to suffer. We always have to have pain. But we just don't have to suffer, because that's our reaction to the pain. Hopefully this noise doesn't get too loud out here. I'm in my backyard. It's hot already, so I'm trying to stay in the shade and everything. But I wanted to talk about pets and dogs in particular, because I know not everybody's a dog or a cat person or likes animals in general, but I'm someone who's loved all types of animals since I was a little kid. But my dad he was a forester when I was younger, and he used to bring home just turtles, all kinds of snakes, everything. And I remember there were these, he'd usually bring home something like a rat snake or something, or corn or milk snake. And my dad and my sister were able to pick them up and handle them, no problem. As soon as I touched them, they'd bite me. They could sense my fear. That's kind of how it was, most of my life. I was kind of hesitant, to get near animals. You shouldn't be handling many animals anyway, especially if you don't know what they are. But definitely don't touch a snake if you don't know what it is. But it kind of showed me, after God saved me, how animals just started approaching me. I had dogs that were vicious. Because I try to take my dogs on a walk every day, and some dogs would just be vicious, like just trying to break through their chain or break down a fence to get to me or get to other people. As soon as God saved me, it's like they turned into the friendliest animals I've ever seen. And some of them were already friendly. I wanted to talk a little bit about a dog that lives just a couple doors down from me. And she's a little border collie puppy. Well, she's been locked out in the yard since she was a puppy, since they got her. They leave her out there on the hot 100+ degree days, or the freezing bitter cold days, which we don't have many in North Carolina, but we do have them. They leave her out all year round. And I talk to her every day. Sometimes if she'll be either in a pen on the deck or tied up with a leash out in the yard. If she's on the leash out in the yard, I'll go and pet her, and she loves my daughters. Oh man. She is one of the most loving dogs I've ever seen. And I know my homeowners association has tried to get them to bring the dog in during the very extreme hot days, and there's just nothing they can do about it. unfortunately there's no law stating they have to, so I guess she's stuck out there. But one day I was walking by, and she wasn't looking at me. She's always waiting for me when I go by. Sometimes I'll give a little whistle even before I get there, so she'll know I'm coming and she'll be there waiting, all excited. One day she wasn't looking at me. I was like, what she was looking in the back of the pen, behind the pen. And I saw two little feet hopping up. I was like, what is this? I thought it was a rabbit jumping by, just kind of teasing her. I was like, why is that rabbit getting so close to her? But then she just kept looking back and forth, and then all of a sudden, into view comes this little kitten. No, she wasn't a kitten. She was a little bit older. She was like an older kitten, we'll say. And I noticed that she was one of the strays that live around my house. They never let us get too close to them, but this cat was just galloping back and forth in front of the dog crate. And that border collie, she was just, it was like she was putting on a show for her. She was so happy watching her. And so I thought that was pretty cool, and I was like, okay, well, yeah, that's cool. And I started going by, because I walk by her every day, just about. And I started seeing that cat there more and more often. And suddenly, I start seeing the cat there every single day. And that cat would go and curl up with this border collie who was stuck outside. You know, she has kids that live in the house that do go try to play with her and give her a little bit of attention for maybe a couple minutes every day. But this cat, who is also, you know, a stray outside, forgotten, she found a best friend in that border collie. And I love seeing those stories of the animals who become friends. It really is amazing how that connection of love brings even animals together. Of course, it's much deeper for humans. We've waged wars for love, but that's kind of a different thing. It's kind of like waging war for Christianity. You don't do it. It's absolutely not what Christianity is about. But I've had quite a few dogs who have lived with me most of my life and then passed away. And it's hard. For me, it's like somebody in the immediate family has died. It's, you know, I was very, I was very sad when my cats, I had 3 cats, you know, within the past, they died within the past 5 years, all within a year and a half of each other. And as sad as that was, losing a dog is like, for me, it just tore me up. And it's not because I didn't love my cats as much. I love all animals, including humans. I love them. And when God saved me, I have a deeper connection with humans and animals. It's like, what I was explaining to, of course, as some of you know me, that I comment. When you comment, I'll respond with almost a novel. I'll sit there and I'll have so much to say, and I'm still not saying probably as much as I want to say. I should probably just start doing videos in response to everything, but sometimes at night it's hard to do a video in my house because everybody's sleeping and I don't want to be loud. But it's definitely easier than sitting there for a good 6 hours writing comments which I do more often than not, actually. But losing a dog to me is so hard, because for me, I think that dogs give us a taste of the unconditional love that Christ and God gives us. And why I say that is, obviously there's some jerk dogs, just like everything else. There's exceptions to everything. You might have a mean dog. You might have a dog who's got something wrong with their head and they just don't act right. Who knows? But in general, a dog is happy to see you whenever you come home. No matter what mood you're in, no matter what is going on in your life, that dog is so happy to see you. And think about their excitement also when you want to spend time with them. So you want to spend time, you just go out in the yard with them. You take them on a walk. They are ecstatic. It is something I think a lot of us take for granted, because no other animal that I know of is like that, including humans. I love seeing my children, but they could care less when I walk in the house sometimes, most of the time. But my dogs are sitting there like, oh my gosh, this is the greatest. Because they look at you like you are the greatest person to walk the face of the earth. And they are so grateful for everything you do for them. Now, I get it. They don't like going to the vet or something like that. That's different. But they are so grateful for your time and your affection. And they sense things beyond. I honestly think they can see into the spiritual realm. I really do. I know it's a little different, but I have a Lab Akita mix. And my wife, we have 2 children. My wife's been pregnant 4 times. She unfortunately had 2 miscarriages. But every single time my wife was pregnant, my lab, who is not a real cuddly dog. I mean, he'll come and cuddle with you if you're feeling sick, or if he's feeling sick, and that's it. And he has to be really not feeling good. But so my wife, I remember the first time she got pregnant, and obviously we didn't even know yet. My dog just went over to her and nestled into her, her lap, and had his head right beside her stomach. And he would do this every evening. So she got to thinking, I guess she didn't even tell me. She was like, well, I was actually on the phone with my insurance and it was a couple hours one time. I mean, it was ridiculously long. And my wife, I guess, had started thinking about my dog doing this. And so she went and walked to the store, which is near our house, and bought a pregnancy test. Of course, it showed she was pregnant. And she did all this before it was still like another half an hour that I was on, because it's like a 20-minute walk to the store. She gets there, checks out, comes back, and actually, does the pregnancy test, and she figures it out. And then I get off the phone, and I'm like, she's like, I got something to tell you. I'm like, what now? I'm pregnant. What? because we didn't even think we were going to have kids. We got our two dogs a little less than a year after my wife had a Pomeranian who stayed with me. She was, I can't remember how old she was, but she was with us for a long time. When she died, we still had cats, but we were just heartbroken because we love dogs too. So I was like, I want a bigger dog now. You had that little, yeah, we had the little Pomeranian for the first few years and I loved her, but it's time to get some big ones. We didn't expect them to be as big as they are, but they're both about, just under 100 pounds. But we had to get these dogs because we didn't think we were going to have kids. With everything going on, all the medicine I had to be on for my back and all the surgeries I had, we didn't even know if it was a good idea to have kids, but we were like, if it happens, it's going to happen. And then she got pregnant, and then, like as I said, was pregnant twice between the time my youngest was born. But we got them a year before my oldest was born. So, we found out a couple months in of having them that she was pregnant. And they meant so much to me in one of the darkest times of my life, when I was recovering from my back surgeries and when I was just down and out. And these dogs they just had an energy that just lifted me up. I look back nowadays and I see how much hope God gave me during these dark times that I just was too jaded to see. It had to get worse and worse, and I had to keep my eyes closed and not see it until finally I decided to try to pry them open, and my last ditch attempt to find some sort of sign from God. And with my dogs, since they've had that, those joint issues and kind of like little health issues and stuff, and as they were getting older, that was yet another thing that I was down and out about. I was like, a comedian once said, when you get a dog, it's like a countdown to sorrow. And it's kind of true. They don't live very long at all. But I stopped worrying about something happening to them. As I would sit and worry about my parents and my friends, or if my children were sick, I'd sit there and just make myself sick with worry. But I started understanding that you have to just cherish the beauty that you have in your life. And in fact, dogs teach us so much about this. Dogs teach us to give that unconditional love. And I kind of noticed they teach us to live in the moment too. Obviously, they live in it with a more gluttonous attitude. We should not do. As you can tell by the looks of me, I've often had that gluttonous attitude myself. I guess I took a little too much example from the dogs. But I started thinking, why not try to tell people, even before they find God or anything, try to bring that enthusiasm to your life. So I'm not saying you have to run up to everybody, and obviously you're not going up to people and jumping on them and licking them. And I mean, don't do that. It's not gonna end well. I'm talking about you need to, and this is just something to try because I think it is something I've been doing without even really thinking about it. When I see someone, a perfect stranger, it doesn't matter who they are, older, younger, whoever, and somehow we are put together and start striking up a conversation. We'll see each other in the park and we'll say hello and then start talking. We'll see each other in the line at the pharmacy or the grocery store or wherever. You know, if it kind of naturally happens where you just kind of, you know, start saying hello to each other, and then I realized that since God has saved me, I am enthusiastic about everyone. Of course, I don't know, I guess it is possible to get rid of all your egotism, all your, you know, we always have to see things from our point of view. That's what our whole life is about. But I'm more concerned with everyone else. When I meet someone, I genuinely feel like they are my best friend that I haven't seen in forever. And I want to hear all about their lives. If they're happy, it fills me with joy. If they're sad, I want to know what's taking the joy from them. Or, you know, if they're comfortable with talking about it. Obviously, I don't probe for private things in their lives. But I want to offer them hope. That's the whole reason I do this, is because I was transformed. And I want to shout it from the mountaintops and tell everyone, you can be too. It's not impossible for you. God will transform you. Christ's love will transform you completely. Look at the many, many millions and billions of people who that's already happened to in life. And you may say, well, I know so many Christians who are just nasty people. Of course you do. They might call themselves a Christian. They're not an actual practicing Christian. They don't understand or even probably attempt to understand Jesus. They don't try to have a personal relationship with God and give themselves completely to God. They just see it as something they were supposed to do, or maybe something that helps their status or helps them control people or trick people into giving them money. If you're genuine and you are seeking God, even if you haven't found him yet, then you will come across to everyone. They will see that genuineness inside of you, and they will be drawn to it. All living things. These trees behind me, I feel a connection to them. Not like a hippie type way. I feel love for them as living things, and I am thankful for God. I'm especially thankful for dogs, because they teach us so much about that unconditional love. As I said, it's a fraction of what Christ and God bring us, but it is a window into it. So when we see that love in our life, we might say, well, we never get that from humans, but you see that love is possible. And to go above and beyond that, because dogs will still run away, dogs still have those desires and whatever else is pulling them, those hormones or whatever, into the hunter instinct. It pulls them away from you sometimes. God will never leave you. As long as you keep your faith in Him and you keep your love for Him, He will be there for you when you need Him. It's not always going to be in the way that you think it will be, and it definitely won't always be some profound message. In fact, there are many times where I see just little things and I know it's God telling me something. But sometimes 100 or 1,000 small little signs are just as profound as a huge message like the one that He gave me on the day I was reborn. We have to cherish, whether you're a cat person, a dog person, or no pet people at all. Find something that shows you unconditional love. And if you're not a pet person, you're probably just going to have to go straight to the source, because there's nothing else that really comes close. And dogs don't even come close to what God gives you. That's how amazing it is. As amazing as the unconditional love is of God, or of dogs, I mean. God is, it's like, think of every single time you've felt pure compassion or love. And every time you felt that compassion and love, all together, that's what it feels like when God first presents Himself to you. Now, He presents Himself in such different ways to all of us. But that's what's so powerful about Christianity. He proves His unconditional love for us. But if you've lost a dog or a pet, I'm very sorry for you. I truly believe, I'm not one of those Christians who believe that animals don't go to heaven. We've had documented near-death experiences showing, literally peer-reviewed near-death experiences showing when people get to the afterlife, they see their pets there with them. I don't know how that even, I guess there's maybe some Bible verse somewhere that the people get that from, where animals don't go to heaven. People can twist scripture to any way they want it. They really can. These pets are put into your life for as long as you need them and as they need you. It's a mutual relationship. They guide you, they teach you. Sometimes they even take care of you. And you do your best to take care of them. Cherish the good times you had. Take a little while to grieve. But then if you can, go out and get another dog, another cat, whatever. And don't forget to love them and cherish them all along the way. And I'm telling you, please try to approach everyone you see who who is drawn into your life. Don't start thinking about your selfish needs or what they can do for you. Greet them like it's the greatest thing to see them. Like you're so happy to see them. And you might be faking it at first. Fake it till you make it, right? But keep doing this. And you may find God through the connection you have with other people. You may see when you start treating people like this, this is how God presents himself to you. By connecting with other people and genuinely caring about other people. Sometimes I feel like I'm a counselor to people. I am, as I said, a long lost best friend. I want to hear their problems. Just learn the art of listening to people. And I get it, there's going to be a lot of selfish people and a lot of bad people, and it's going to jade you even more maybe. But I guarantee if you keep doing this, just forget about the bad people. If they're bad people, be like, oh, okay, and just move on. It's not going to make that much of a difference in your life. So there's assholes everywhere, there really is. But just keep trying it. And God may present himself through the love of this connection. This is the power of why so many find God through the church in all different religions, especially Christianity, with the fellowship and all of the communion and everything. All of that is meant to be done with others. Sorry, these gnats are getting bad. But it is very important for you. It is very important because you have to, it all depends on how you're set up, how you're hardwired. But I guarantee you, even if you're a private person, next time you're around someone and it seems like both of you were bored waiting in line or whatever, and it seems like a time for small talk, just be friendly with them. You don't have to say more than hello, oh, have a good day. Give them a smile. That might literally brighten up their entire day. A smile, a friendly comment, it ripples sometimes. This person could be having the worst day of their lives or be right in the midst of the worst year or two of their lives. And that smile from you can mean everything to them. All right, I better go and get the girls from school. I love you all. We'll talk to you soon.